down 82, and Mississippi State has made that journey to try to do something no one has done in the SEC this year. Beat Bama at Coleman Coliseum. The Crimson Tide first. And Grant Nelson wins the opening tip. Terry Oglesby, Todd Austin, Patrick Evans are officials tonight. Alabama going with that smaller starting five with Nelson at the 5. Nick Pringle is still suspended indefinitely. We'll get into that as this night progresses, but the Crimson Tide, one of the best offensive teams in the country. They start with a 3. They love to do that, and Rylan Griffin cashes out. Executive start. Chris Jans, their head coach, told us we really couldn't keep him out of the starting lineup anymore.
On a big-time matchup down low here with Tolu Smith on Grant Nelson. Grant Nelson more than held his own in Starkville. Was a big key to that victory. And you see Tolu Smith for the Alabama game for these officials.
Correct. Shot clock down to 5. Cam Matthews had to get rid of it. Here's Hubbard. He's a big-time scorer. Banks it in high off the glass.
The 5'10" freshman has absolutely no fear. And if you don't believe me, just go watch that game at their rival in Oxford. He put on a show despite the loss.
And he was hearing it from the fans there. Griffin after the spin. That's the first 2-point attempt for the Crimson Tide tonight. Consistent contributors from last season's team who is back along with Sears. Bama by 1, 3 minutes in. Here's Tolu Smith, takes a peek at the shot clock and goes back to work on Nelson, spins and scores with a left.
He's a patient, big time.
They want to muck the game up.
Yes, and this is some of that weave action. It's just a little bit of stall tactic to slow this game down some, keep Alabama out of rhythm, as you said, with their high-octane style of play.
Late shot clock, Hubbard's going to be their go-to guy. He got Griffin in the air and drew the foul. You mentioned the head coach, Chris Jans. But they did beat Rutgers like 10 miles from campus, so that...
What a job Nate Oates has done. It's really just been remarkable. And, I mean, he has every opponent trying not to play on their heels because you know it's going to be a track meet. And here's a steal right now.
Yeah, speaking of track meet, a stuff for Mohamed. 1 as we come up on 5 minutes in. Smith back to work on Wagee. Sears takes it away. Smith hit the deck, numbers for the Crimson Tide. Good ball movement, ends with a triple, and 3 points for Jaron Stevenson.
Single time.
Bulldogs ball after the foul on Wagee. Alabama focused on getting off to a good start in this one. They were trailing 17-2 at Georgia the other night. That should count on the goaltend plus the foul. So Matthews has a chance.
I don't know if this one was going in or not. It might have been an and one anyway, but you got to stay away from that one. That's too easy of a call for the official.
Hasn't taken a shot yet. Averages more than 20 points per game. Tops in the SEC. Out to Reitzel. Nice pocket pass back to Wagee for 2.
Great job by Wagee. Just stay.
It's kind of misleading. That game was tied at 74 with under 3 minutes to play. The free throw line made a huge difference. Yep. Bell's floater goes. We're tied again. 2 foul participation on KenPom. Oates is about middle of the pack. So Nelson takes a seat with 12 minutes left in the first. Physicality underneath. Basket wouldn't go for Jones. Got it back. Bell stuffs it.
DJ Jeffries, not once but twice in this game, has turned down open looks. That's knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, and he's found better opportunities for teammates.
Wagee was all alone. Cleaned up by Diabate. Mohamed Diabate is on the board. Digs out the rebound.
That's a shot I think he can shoot on a smaller defender, but the length of Griffin, that makes it way too difficult.
Estrada on the kick. Diabate missed the 3. Estrada offensive rebound. Back-to-back trips with a putback for the super active in the first 10 minutes. Estrada on the kick. Reitzel back to Estrada. The birthday boy passes up the 3. Lefty finish is pure. For some reason, it's just more visually appealing when 2 of their best guards shoot left-handed as Smith lays it in with Aaron Estrada as he turns 23 today. Nate Oates comes over to talk to us at our broadcast table as Hubbard missed the 3. He sees what you're looking at, shot quality. He calls Aaron Estrada over and says, look at these numbers. You're better driving to the basket.
Right. Just more evidence.
Smith, good footwork, missed the shot. He saved it right to Griffin, and Sears wants to run. In the spin cycle on Hubbard, drops it, Nelson stuffs it. Highlight reel stuff from Sears and Nelson.
And say, we're going to outscore you. I don't care how many you score. No, they get locked in defensively with plays like that.
You see, they forced 7 turnovers already. They've got 7 points off those turnovers. Reitzel kicks it out. Stevenson wide open. It's a double-digit lead for Alabama. And the sellout crowd here at Coleman coming back alive. Tolu Smith tries to settle him down and draws the whistle. And he does that.
He's learning how to play with the target on their back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's somebody else who's trying to take you down, even though it might make for a tougher challenge. Weren't able to convert, but it came down awkwardly.
Smith left alone. He's got half of Mississippi State's 20 points, keeping him in it.
He just gets such great positioning, and as we said, on that side of the court is where he's really effective.
Stevenson with a hand in his face.
Well, they've been bragging about how Stevenson is really coming along, gaining confidence as the season goes on, and when you get a guy like that out there that can spread the court on the offensive end and be a rim protector on this end, you've got something special.
Foul on the deck. Something to keep in mind, Alabama averages over 18 fouls per 213th meeting between these schools, separated by about an hour and a half. Diabate bullies his way to the hole for 2. And a foul. And the Bulldogs still yet to hit from outside, now 0 for 6. Sears way downtown, bullseye.
Those are after timeouts or dead ball situations. I said, man, I was going to say, how the heck is Sears calling 25 zip wide stagger?
On 2, Spider 2 wide banana. Foul and a basket. Diabate flexing. He's a freshman, is 8 against LSU. He's making free throws. Everything's going
on you because you know you can get it back. He goes, that's it. We got to have a team that's mature enough to stay locked in defensively no matter how well we're doing on offense.
What a fancy move from the birthday boy, Aaron Estrada. Stevenson bats it to Estrada. Also, moments of greatness for Mississippi State with 2 top 10 wins at home. But they are in a hole here as Smith gets fouled on the deck, and this will be double bonus. And it's Angel Reese and LSU taking on Vandy, a historic 284th in Division I. And Smith got that bounce. They made 6 of them, and they lead it by 16.
If they keep getting those looks, they'll shoot 50 this game. Nate Oates is not going to tell them to start turning it down.
Now Sears has a chance. He knocks it down. Griffin. Three-pointer swirled out. Stevenson the offensive rebound. Griffin tried it again. Another offensive board. 3rd time's the charm. This is a rout in the first half. And Smith quiets him down momentarily.
Thereof dictate their defensive intensity, and that's just not.
Smith splits him with under a minute to play in the first half. You know, Mississippi State's defense, Alabama does this to a lot of teams. They've scored 100+ 6 different times this year, already a program record. Stevenson gets up there and drops it in.
To your point, though, this feels.
Hubbard's got to go. Turns the corner. Can't lay it in. Putback will not count. It was after the buzzer. And Alabama
Goal attempts than Mississippi State. You just have no shot at winning against Alabama when that happens.
11 turnovers led to 18 Alabama points in the first half. Tolu Smith has been their only source of offense. He spins and draws the foul against Grant Nelson. So saying to the team at halftime.
Yeah, I think I can make that. His confidence can just really get rattled.
Yeah, not a great free throw shooter in terms of percentage. Gets there a ton. Mississippi State with the takeaway and a fresh shot clock. Shaquille Moore after the hesitation and the fake. Nice passing on the interior. And Smith draws another foul. And it goes. It's not on Nelson.
And him in the cookie jar.
Well, Smith is really here.
Did such a nice job weathering the storm early. This is exactly what Nate Oates wants to see.
And Coach Oates told us that 3 weeks ago when they played in Starkville, that was the first time Nelson really manned up.
Yeah.
His words. And now they call a foul.
I agree with you. I thought that was a huge turning point.
Well, it's avoid fouling. And now Matthews.
And that's how you claw back in the game, is get yourself to the free throw line, stop the clock.
He had 20. Fourth time this season and the first time since November. Sears curls around, running the two-man game with Nelson, scoops it in.
Just such patience that Hezzy freezes the defense and realizes.
Smith at the top, on the dribble drive, barreling through Mohamed Wague.
And I thought that was a charge there, especially after all the fouls that Alabama has not gotten. Nate Oates says, hey, man, come on. We finally played the right type of defense, and now he's going to get a tech for it.
I think he might have said something other than that, too, and he gets teed up. On the season.
Really well. He beats him to the spot. Tolu Smith lowers that shoulder. And that's a missed call. I think that's a charge right there. And so some built-up frustration already when Nate Oates didn't agree with some of the hand check.
Nice play by Wague to save it to Estrada. Working on Matthews. Spins past him. Steps through. What a fine right sole. Estrada the offensive rebound. He's got some space. Another spin. And the lay-in. Here's Sears. Minnie Brunson. What a move!
Unbelievable. Just can get through the paint. So patient.
By the way, that stat, 70% of the time he drives. Where'd that come from?
Oh, you're good. Shot quality.
Yeah,
My gosh.
We're going to get you sponsored more.
Just trying to get a free subscription.
Well, you got a little crash course from Adam Bowman, right?
Yes, Adam Bowman was tremendously helpful. Director of Analytics for Alabama. And I know people get tired of hearing some stats, this and that, but I'm telling you, coach your players, educate your roster on what a good shot is or isn't, and that's why Alabama is so efficient on the offensive end.
Well, they turn it over here. They've been a little more careless with it in the second half, and Mississippi State will go to the line. Jaquan Scott giving him a little spark off the bench here on SEC Network and the ESPN app. All the last 15 years or something. It's those KenPom numbers for Houston in the second half. Outscored them 56-33, and that's, of course, relevant for this game because those are the two biggest rivals for these.
They handled Ole Miss at Neville Arena. I thought Ole Miss would be in position to get revenge, but Auburn didn't give up, and Ole Miss coming off a big rivalry week.
Showtime for Wague. Off those turnovers. That's 13 giveaways for the Bulldogs. The Tide have turned those into 22 points.
Drew, I've heard coaches tell me, hey, there's going to be a few games a year you play so poorly. There's going to be a few games a year you play out of your minds. The truth is somewhere in between.
Could shoot a lot of free throws down the stretch here. Alabama's struggle for them all season. Aside from that, they keep everything close. Under 10 to shoot. Reitzel's got Bell in the blender on the kick out for Stevenson. His three-pointer goes.
That is such a...
Estrada curls.
Top 20 KenPom defense in Mississippi State. So it's not like they're just going up against the bottom of the SEC defensively.
Diabate. Whoa! Alabama continues to pour it on. Play stifling defense. Tolate not really a threat from downtown. Gavin Cosby's in the game. Can't make his first look. Hubbard is Mississippi State's second leading scorer tonight with 5 points. He drops it there for Jones, and he's on the board. Diabate on the Euro and the flick home.
What a tough move.
Diabate both with career highs tonight. Walters the rebound.
So I don't know Chris Jans' policy, but is this a burn the tape type game? Because man, everything is going against Mississippi State. You got without just having to watch every single clip, but I'm sure he's going to make them look in the mirror to some degree.
On the three, Sean Jones Jr. nails it. That is their first. How are those film sessions?
I do think psychologically sometimes many coaches can be even harder on teams after a win to make sure they don't get complacent. After a loss, you're more concerned about the psyche to where, hey, Steph Moody, as much as Bulldog fans don't want to be compared to any, anxious to see this kid grow offensively and defense. Some more of the exciting individual guys with Marshall Henderson, Steph Moody.
Yeah.
Henderson out there was trying to do the pregame, get Rebel fans hyped for the big Auburn rematch.
Oh, yeah?
Should have suited up.
Walters rips the cords on a triple.
3-point attempts. They'll put up 50. They just might get there.
Well, Oates told us that Latrell Wrightsell, as Hubbard pulls it from way downtown. Offensive rebound. Matthews. Smith defended by Nelson and lays it in. Latrell Wrightsell has been shooting the ball as well as anyone in the country lately. The only time he did something Nate Oates didn't like was when he didn't take an open three and got yanked from the game in the second half.
Well, they put so much emphasis, less likely you are to get a good look.
And it's not just fast break points, right? Yeah. It's also getting to your offense early in the half court.
Well, and how rarely, when you talk to coaches across this league, when their offense starts doing better, the first thing they say is, yeah, I'm having to play call less. Our guys are just playing is the schedule too, right? So you've got Alabama, and that's why that win at Georgia was so key for their hopes of a regular season championship, because their schedule is arguably the most brutal too, but man, did it make them a better team.
We saw Nate Oates talking for Alabama. I mean, Coach Oates did schedule aggressively. Ohio State, Oregon, and that's why their record has them at 24th in the AP poll, despite being top 10 in both net and KenPom.
It seems like every time the media picks Alabama to finish 5th in the preseason polls,
I think if you ask Nate Oates, where do you hang your hat the championship?
100% they can, and I know he's not going to rest until they've had as much turnover between roster and staff like Nate Oates. 3 assistant coaches get D1 jobs. I'm not sure that's ever happened at the D1 level, to lose all 3 assistants to D1 jobs. Yet here he is reloading his staff, reloading his to get more familiar with what Nate Oates wants as well at the right time.
Sean Jones Jr. hit that 3. He's got 8 points all in the second half. Diabate going to work on the block, lays it in, +1.
Here's a unique thing. It's kind of nice at the end of the day to not be.
Sears, bully ball on his way to the hole. And he got his own. On the baseline drive, surrounded by Maroon, out to Diabate. And Sears with another offensive rebound. He's 6'1", ladies and gentlemen.
In college basketball, KenPom has him at the 80th. Yes, he can shoot it from deep, and he's got great ball handling player.
Uber efficient again tonight. 17 points on 9 field goal attempts. 4-4 at the line. On the bounce, a nice look from Jones to Shaquille Moore.
Well, that's one where he fell asleep and started ball watching. Did Sears, lost his man.
Draws the foul on his way to the hole.
His game, and just bet on himself year after year.
Yeah, now. Sears at the line, a Muscle Shoals native, the other way. Estrada couldn't bank it in. Blow the whistle and point at Nelson. I wish on.
I think I'm playing the scoreboard right now.
Bama will be carrying some momentum as that three's way off into their matchup with Auburn Wednesday on the Plains.
The best news for Mississippi State is they've got a short drive home.
Whoa, Sears! What a look! Eyes in the back of his head. Walters on the finish. Answer from Shaquille Moore. Yeah, I feel like that's not going to be a fun 90 minutes.
No, it's not.
Heading back on I-82. Sears drops it in.
It's an all-American type effort right now from Sears. He's just showing you what he can do as a scorer, as a distributor.
Bell waits and drops it in.
Lisa impression, just seeing everything in the room. What a dime.
At Georgia Wednesday, they were trailing by 12 midway through the second half. Came all the way back to win. Sears and Nelson were outstanding as Moore with the takeaway finds Jones, who's had a nice second half. So they're 7-1 overall in the SEC, but ultimately that would come back to bite you.
Yeah, and for them not to just rely on their spurt ability. And
Jimmy Bell is at the free throw line. We're high on the metrics, and Alabama, after this performance going in there, that's going to be fun.
And that was a great matchup the first time. So to be able to sweep Auburn would be huge for this Crimson Tide team. And Bruce Pearl and Auburn certainly looking to stay in the hunt for an SEC title. Are out, I guess.
Moore missed the dunk. What's going on?
Gosh.
Walters more comfortable from outside the arc. So is Reitzel.
Get over this quick, because that's a Georgia Bulldog team that has tournament hopes as well.
Someone scooped the story that Kai Spears got put on scholarship. Made the decision, and what a moment for Kai Spears going 2-2 at the line.
Well, as a scholarship player, you got to look at him as the most efficient guy on this team, right? I mean, 2 points in 20 seconds.
Is that true shooting percentage?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't.
3 white jerseys in the vicinity. Spears, what a look. Walters can't lay it in. He missed the dunk. The layup got stuffed by Guy Chol. Spears for 3. Oh, yeah! What a night in Tuscaloosa. Shaquille Moore with the layup. It's purely cosmetic. 99 for the Tide tonight. They're rolling to an 8-1 record in conference play. 14 in a row at home against SEC opponents. This was a demolition. And the newest scholarship member of the team being carried off the floor.
Just when you thought it was a balanced effort and there was really no individual